Hi, I'm Remy Fool from the Lily Garden, and I'm here to welcome you to the 5th episode of the Lily Podcast, which is a solo podcast hosted by yours truly. This is also going to be the first episode of the Lily Podcast, which will be uploaded onto the Innominate Anime Podcast group on YouTube. For those of you who don't know, the Innominate Anime Podcast group consists of 6 individuals: myself, Lethargic Ramblings, Mechanical Anime Reviews aka Scott, Irina from Drunken Anime Blog, Shoujo Thoughts, and Hey Itself. Unfortunately, due to schedule conflicts and real-life shenanigans, our group has been experiencing a bit of a schedule slip. So in order to pad out these pronounced release gaps, we have decided to upload smaller solo podcast efforts and projects onto the channel. So far it's just me, but the other group members might start doing their own thing too. So this episode is basically about comic girls. I've been hearing a lot of negative feedback regarding this series thus far, and it's mostly coming from people who are overreacting, or people who do not appreciate moe culture, or from people who just happen to not really like the whole cute girls doing cute things subgenre. The naysayers are primarily upset with the way the protagonist, aka Moata Karuko, aka Chaos, is presented. Chaos is an underdeveloped girl who is older than she looks, which means she looks young for her age because she is so short. So that's an issue because the series seems fond of accentuating Chaos' youthful appearance. Her physical development, or lack thereof, as well as her physical appearance are frequently mentioned, and she is made to dress up as an elementary school student in episode 3. Such moments, which are played out in tandem to fanservice scenes featuring Ruki and Koyume, have caused some viewers to think that the series is trying to portray Chaos as being sexy. After all, the figures and breast sizes of Koyume and Ruki are given a lot of attention, and it seems obvious that the series is trying to make them appear sexy due to the camera focus. However, Chaos is supposed to be moe, she's supposed to be cute, she's supposed to be kawaii. That's why most of her on-screen appearances exist to reinforce that notion. Chaos is so defeatist and in some ways pitiable and pathetic that the viewer is made to want to give her a hug to help her feel better. Chaos also happens to be the kind of petite protagonist who lacks self-confidence or is unskilled at what she wants to get into or is looking to break into a new hobby or pastime. Such series include New Game, Blend S, Inu X Boku SS. It's almost as if the size of these petite protagonists are a way to signify that they are indeed the underdogs, the characters who are meant to grow and develop as the series progresses. In theory, in some cases, some shows are not very good at showcasing that development. So it's just a misconception to believe that Chaos is meant to be seen as sexually attractive or erotic or that she's sexualized. But I do agree that the talk about her panties in episode 3 wasn't really needed at all, and that's probably what led a lot of people to get upset. This is of course coming from a Westerner who is just sharing his pet furies, a foreigner, a filthy gaijin who doesn't have really any sound numbers or evidence to support his backing, so take that all with a grain of salt. Speaking of which, I'm suggesting that you should doubt the word of any individual who claims that only pedophiles or people who are attracted to younger girls or virgins who have never interacted with real women are the only people who would be interested in comic girls or other cute girls doing cute things shows. Such statements are logical extremes and showcase a lack of critical thought. It's a broad generalization that is disingenuous and factually not true. After all, there are lots of girls who enjoy cute girls doing cute things shows as well. Most viewers are very, very conscious of the fact that these are not real girls. Comic girls and other cute girls doing cute things shows. In fact, all of anime, they're featuring characters who are fictional. these are fictional characters. And that's why they're enjoyable to watch, because they are not real. There are a few individuals who watch cute girls doing cute things shows who don't quite seem to realize this uncrossable gap, but to assume that all fans of such a subgenre can't make that very simple distinction it's simply ridiculous. I don't know what else to say. But that's just it, isn't it? High school anime characters are often shown and thought of as sexy or attractive or erotic, and it's just that's okay. It's okay because we realize that there's a boundary between 2D and 3D. If we were thinking like high school boys or girls were attractive in real life, that'll be very creepy. But anime allows you to convey the fact that these characters are supposed to be attractive, and we can enjoy that without real life implications affecting our preferences or our opinions in theories. And some people, they like going for those logical extremes. So there's always a sense of irony when someone claims that Todoroki is their husband though, or Deku is their waifu, because, there's that boundary that can't really be crossed. In other words, all I'm trying to basically say, I guess, after all this is, don't generalize. Generalizations are bad, which is in itself a generalization, but you know what I mean. If you do want to make some blanket statements, try to consider the use of the word predominantly. So fans of whatever you're attacking realize that you might not be talking about them, and they won't get so defensive and they won't start attacking you. As a slight tangent, I wanted to talk about a thought-provoking tweet made by eSharp777, otherwise known as Elijah Sharp. Basically, he mentions that criticism in which the critic claims that a series has failed or is not good because the critic could not relate to what was being shown in the series or in the media or the source material or whatever. That sort of criticism is not good. You shouldn't say that. You shouldn't dismiss a work because you couldn't relate to it. It's not an objective failing or shortcoming of a series because you personally couldn't emphasize or understand what was happening. It's a subjective opinion, and it's almost as if you're claiming that because you couldn't relate to it, no one else could relate to it, and it lacks self-awareness. It lacks understanding that other people don't share the same opinion and experiences as you, and some people will probably indeed relate to the series you're trying to criticize. I mean, some media, as like he said, is not intended to be relatable to any audiences. So like by that logic, that kind of media sucks, right? No, I mean, I think it's fine if you mention that as like a strength. Like, I related to this media and that's why I like it a lot. But it's a bit flawed to dismiss something because you can't relate to it. Anyways, that's also just his PSA against broad generalizations. I'll be including the tweet in the description box, the more info box, whatever it's called, and in the blog post that will be accompanying this recording. Lastly, I wanted to mention a recent article written by All Hail Haruhi, which was more or less a warning against careless use of the words "be critical." Essentially, Haruhi explains and breaks down logically how just using said words, be critical, is lazy if you try to use it as a standalone statement, as a way to justify the consumption of problematic series or series featuring controversial issues. If you're going to use that phrase, be critical, then you should try to explain what do you mean by that. You'll want to point out what exactly is problematic, what you should be critical of, and why it's actually a problem or something that should be addressed. Because otherwise you might as well be saying something recursive or not saying anything at all, because that's what you're basically doing by using such words by themselves. So that was an article written by the best any blogger of all time, All Hail Haruhi. Well, she's not really the best, but you should really go check out her website, All Hail Haruhi. There'll be a link in the description box down below. And you should also go check out Elijah Sharp's YouTube videos. He's known as Caffeinated Telescopes on YouTube. So yeah, just go follow those two very talented content creators. You won't regret anything.